Hello everyone, my name is Antonia Villa and this is my presentation for EDL 952 Module 4. In this presentation we are to role play that we have received climate survey results and the school board has asked that I conduct an in-service at the next scheduled professional development day to promote appropriate adult relationships with our students. Before presenting though, I would like to meet with the other building principals, and I would like this to be more of a collaborative effort than anything else. I would like to share with the building principals the climate results, and I would ask their opinion and I'd ask for their help on building a Google form that allowed me to find the response for all these questions here. And hopefully, this could be done in a week or two. And once we had staff responses, I would like to analyze the responses to give me an idea of what information our staff is really needing. I do understand that we had climate survey results, but I also would like to know what all the staff knows about social emotional learning. I also feel like a lot of the information needs to be gathered per building before it can be presented overall to all the buildings, to all the building staff. I would have building principals go back and meet with our staff and do a getting to know our students activity. And this activity would consist of going through their building rosters and documenting the percentages of students that come from a single parent home or living with grandparents, ESL migrant students, and students with disabilities. And we'd also include the free or reduced lunches and the students that qualify for at-risk services. And I'd also like for us to gather our absentee reports and disciplinary reports. From this, I would hope that as the staff is going through the roster, that they recognize the demographics that they're dealing with. And hopefully this is a good way to just start opening up their eyes and hopefully they can realize that, they do need some help. And once they realize they need some help, maybe they'll be willing to, try new things. I would start the presentation with a welcome to USD 218, professional development, the importance of building appropriate student relationships. And I would begin my presentation by showing them a video on YouTube. This video focuses on how social emotional needs impact student behavior. This video here has a school with a diverse student population, and the videos consisted of student interviews, and they also shared how nice it was to be able to feel that connection to teachers, as well as how it felt not being able to connect with the teachers. So I would really focus on presenting something to them, and not to point anyone out, just to give them an example. We had a lot of articles to read, and all those articles were very helpful. I would share some of the research that was found in those articles, such as building a positive school climate centers on equity and focuses on diversity and inclusion of students and staff. These efforts impact how students engage and have an influence on their actions. So once again, these articles were very helpful. It gives us something to go back to, and the research results are already there, so why not use what's already there? And then I would present to the staff facts to know, and the positives would be students who feel connected to school are less likely to engage in risky behavior. Students who feel connected to school are less likely to smoke cigarettes, drink alcohol, become involved in violence, or any other risky activities. These students are less likely to experience emotional problems. The negatives of students not connecting with an adult there in the school are it can be detrimental to students' academic and social emotional development. So once again, I would show the research that was found in our resources, and I showed them the positives of connecting with students and the negatives of not connecting with students. And then I would just simply ask, what can we do? We know our demographics. We know there is a need for a social emotional curriculum as well as some way to monitor the progress. So I'd ask the question, what can we do different? I put it on them, and that way they can have more buy-in to it. When can we start? If teachers and staff members see there's a huge need, hopefully they'll want to start right away. How will we monitor progress? Well, I know here at our school we use MySavers and FastBridge, but I don't think our staff has been shown how to monitor any of that. So hopefully this is an area that they stress they need professional development, and I would bring someone in to help us with that. And it of course relates to what kind of training would be beneficial. Again, I think if we had a discussion with our staff, and the more they get to voice their opinion, and the more they will feel like they're being heard. Connecting with students, sometimes I think that we feel like it's an automatic, and it doesn't. Sometimes we do have to work at it. Educational excellence means creating learning environments where every student feels safe, included, and empowered to achieve. Even your non-English speaking students, they want to feel a part. They want to belong to a community. I would recommend the strategies below to be used in their daily routines. And I would definitely stress structure and consistency. Some of the strategies consist of greeting students. I know that I noticed this more after post-COVID, how our staff members were connected to their cell phones. I didn't see a lot of greeting students at the door, so we have implemented this strategy where it is expected that teachers greet their students, and I model that behavior by being a part of this. I stand out in the hall, and I visit with the students as they go by to the cafeteria. Another big thing is pronouncing students' names correctly. That's huge. There are some students who are very proud, of their name, and when you don't take the time to pronounce it correctly, it really does hurt the student. I would encourage eating lunch with students. There's been times whenever I've announced, teachers, if you'd like to eat lunch with students, the meal is on the office. That way there's no reason not to be able to eat with our students. Attending students' extracurricular activities, I know that was also brought up. And being in a small rural school, we do attend our students' activities because we're the ones who are hosting, and we're the ones who are putting everything together. So that's usually not a problem. I know every once in a while we do get teachers from a bigger city, and we just encourage them to sign up to help, and if they'd like to get paid for that extra time, they're more than welcome to turn in a timesheet for that. But most of us just do it because we want to be there for the kids and have an opportunity to take part in that. We also need to share with our staff that it's okay to get to know your activities with your students. It can be simple as a real quick show and tell. I know that sounds ridiculous for middle school students, but believe me, it does seem to interest them. And for the shy ones, it's okay to have them put their information on a poster board and share with the class. I know I had one teacher who had students introduce themselves, and we had a couple of students who weren't comfortable doing that. So what she did is she had the other students face the wall, and that allowed the student to have a little bit of confidence because she wasn't looking at everyone's eyes or facial expressions, and she did an excellent job with that. I also like to encourage, how our body language can easily be interpreted as something not very welcoming. I promise you, I'm one to not cross my arms. I don't know what it is about crossing my arms, but I won't do that. And so there's times whenever I'll look at the teachers and, just in a fun manner, I'll say, those crossing arms there, that just makes me feel like I'm in trouble. And so once I start saying things like that, they start realizing if I feel that way, there's no telling how the students will feel as well. This year we also came up with a safe room, and this safe room is used for students who feel like they have anxiety, and I allow them to go in that room. They don't have to talk to me. It's right next door to my office, so usually I give them about 10 minutes in there. There's coloring pages, there's journals, there's just anything that'll help them calm down, puzzles and the stress fidgets and all those kinds of things that can help them. And that has been very beneficial for us. The other strategy that was mentioned within our resources was the 2x10 strategy. And we tried this, I want to say, before COVID hit. It was actually our high school principal who brought this to our school, and it was very, to me, it was very effective because he believed in it. He led it, he believed in it, and therefore that was what was expected. And I know we tried it, or they tried it the first semester before COVID, and then the second semester we were going to try it, but something came up to where we couldn't, and the next thing you know, we were shut down in March. But I would like to bring this back to our school. Now, one of the things we do at the middle school is PPC, and this is where middle school teachers will contact PPC is where I have our middle school teachers send out a text or an email to 1 to 2 parents, and they are to share anything positive that their student has done. And at the end of the month, I can share names of the students who have not received a PPC. And this is helpful because a lot of times, even the high achieving students, they need those positive things being text or emailed to parents. This strategy has also helped with, we have less lines at our parent-teacher conferences, and we have less upset parents, and there's more positive interactions with parents and teachers. And it's one of those things where, it reflects, say for instance, you have parents talking about the teacher who emailed or texted a positive comment to them, then, hopefully they talk about it at noon, and then the students hear something positive, and it changes the whole mindset, I believe. But this is something that we do at our middle school. It's PPC, and it just helps, with communication on the positive side. That way we're not always contacting parents just when there's an issue or a concern. Teachers do document who they contact and when they contact them. And like I said, at the end of the month, I check over this, I look over this form, and I just highlight, over time, the students that haven't been contacted or the parents. And so this is helpful for the teachers. Now, what could we have as far as a potential roadblock? Well, first of all, if we administrators don't set the expectation, and if we don't model the behavior, then I really have a hard time believing that teachers will follow or will start it themselves. So I think this really lays on the administrators first. Even going to the cafeteria and eating lunch with the students, that's a huge hit. But I would like for all administrators to be expected to lead by joining in with greeting time, and they can join in the conversations in the hallway, and they can eat lunch with students. They can model the behavior that's expected throughout the day. And we all have to understand it's a process. It will take time, and hopefully the goal would be that by the next time they have to take a climate survey, that we will have better results. And I would highly encourage to invite staff to provide feedback. We need to know what they also feel comfortable with and what they don't feel comfortable with, and that'll help us provide the appropriate staff development that they need. The other thing we're trying to do is to introduce ACEs to our staff members who seem to have a difficult time connecting with the students. ACEs is something that can really open your eyes to the kids that, they may not give you any problems, but we don't know what kind of trauma they've been through. ACEs is adverse childhood experiences, and it's just a few questions, but it does give you kind of an overview of a student. And these are my references, and thank you.